I stood at the base of the mountain, its peak lost in a swirling mass of clouds. The air was crisp, and the silence was almost deafening, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves and the distant call of a bird. The mountain loomed large, a silent guardian of the secrets it held within its rugged slopes. It was a sight to behold, both beautiful and terrifying in its grandeur. It was daunting, massive, and seemed almost impossible to conquer. Each rock and crevice seemed to whisper tales of those who had tried and failed, their dreams dashed against the unforgiving stone. The sheer scale of the challenge ahead was enough to make anyone question their resolve. But in that moment of doubt, I felt a spark of determination ignite within me. This was no ordinary mountain, this was a metaphor for my dreams, for the seemingly insurmountable challenges that lay between me and the life I yearned to live. Each step I would take up that mountain represented a step towards my goals, a step towards becoming the person I aspired to be. The mountain was a symbol of every obstacle I had ever faced and every fear I had ever harbored. Fear, a cold and insidious serpent, began to coil in my stomach. It whispered doubts and insecurities, reminding me of past failures and the possibility of future ones. The weight of that fear was almost paralyzing, making my legs feel like lead and my heart race with anxiety. It was a familiar feeling, one that had held me back many times before. What if I failed? What if I wasn't good enough? These questions echoed in my mind, each one a dagger to my confidence. The fear of failure is a powerful force, one that can stop even the most determined individuals in their tracks. But as I sat there contemplating the journey ahead, I realized that failure was not the end. It was merely a stepping stone, a lesson to be learned on the path to success. But as I looked up at that imposing peak, I remembered a powerful lesson. The key to success is to focus your conscious mind on things you desire, not things you fear. This shift in perspective was like a breath of fresh air, clearing the fog of doubt that had clouded my mind. I began to see the mountain not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to prove to myself that I was capable of more than I had ever imagined. Fear, I realized, was nothing more than a distraction, a thief of potential that thrived on my hesitation. It was a shadow that grew larger the more I focused on it, but when I turned my attention to my desires, to the burning passion within me, the shadow began to shrink. I felt a surge of confidence, a newfound strength that propelled me forward. I was no longer a prisoner of my fears, but a warrior of my dreams. My desires, on the other hand, were a source of energy, a burning passion that yearned to be unleashed. They were the fuel that would drive me up that mountain one step at a time. With each step, I would leave behind the doubts and fears that had held me back for so long. And as I reached the peak, I would stand tall, not just as someone who had conquered a mountain, but as someone who had conquered themselves. The journey was not just about reaching the top, but about discovering the strength and resilience within me. And in that moment, I knew that no mountain, no matter how high, could ever stand in the way of my dreams. We all carry fears. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of not being enough. These fears can manifest in various ways, sometimes subtly, sometimes overwhelmingly. They creep into our minds during quiet moments, and they can be loud and persistent when we face challenges. They make us question our worth, our abilities, and our potential. Fear can be a powerful force, often paralyzing us and preventing us from taking the steps we need to move forward. These fears can weigh us down like heavy chains, holding us back from pursuing our dreams. Imagine carrying an invisible burden that grows heavier with every doubt and every worry. It's exhausting, isn't it? We allow these fears to dictate our decisions, to steer us away from opportunities, and to keep us in our comfort zones. We stand at crossroads, paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice. These fears whisper doubts in our ears, telling us that we are not good enough, that we will fail, that we should not even try. They become a constant background noise, influencing our thoughts and actions. They convince us that we are not capable of achieving greatness, that our dreams are too big, too unrealistic. We start to believe that we are destined to remain where we are, stuck and unfulfilled. We become prisoners in the cages of our own making. These cages are built from our fears, our doubts, and our insecurities. They are invisible, yet they are incredibly strong, holding us back from living our fullest lives. But what if we shifted our focus? What if we decided to break free from these self-imposed cages? What if we chose to see our fears not as barriers, but as challenges to overcome? What if, instead of dwelling on our fears, we concentrated on our deepest desires? What if we allowed our dreams and aspirations to take center stage in our minds? Imagine the possibilities if we focused on what we want to achieve rather than what we are afraid of. What if we allowed our aspirations to fuel our actions, to guide our steps, to become the driving force behind our every move? Imagine the energy and motivation we would have if we were driven by our passions rather than our fears. We have the power to change our focus, to shift our mindset, and to break free from the weight of worry. By embracing our dreams and letting them guide us, we can unlock our true potential and live a life of fulfillment and joy. Desire is a powerful force. It is the engine that drives us, the fuel that propels us forward. When we connect with our deepest desires, when we allow ourselves to truly want something, we tap into a wellspring of energy and motivation that can help us overcome even the most daunting obstacles. Think about a time when you were deeply passionate about something. Were you more likely to give up easily, or to persevere in the face of challenges? Passion fuels persistence. It gives us the strength to keep going even when things get tough. So how do we shift our focus from fear to desire? It's a question that many of us grapple with, especially in times of uncertainty. Fear can be paralyzing, holding us back from pursuing our true passions and dreams. But desire, on the other hand, can be a powerful motivator, propelling us forward towards our goals. The key lies in understanding and harnessing this desire. The first step is to identify our true desires. This might sound simple, but it requires deep introspection and honesty with ourselves. We need to peel back the layers of societal expectations, familial pressures, and our own self-doubt to uncover what we genuinely want. What do we really want out of life? Is it a successful career, a loving family, the freedom to travel, or perhaps the opportunity to create art? These desires are deeply personal and unique to each individual. What are the things that make our hearts sing, that bring us pure, unadulterated joy? These are the moments when we feel most alive, most connected to our true selves. What are the activities or experiences that ignite a fire in our souls, that make us feel unstoppable and full of purpose? These are our North Stars, the guiding lights that will lead us towards our dreams. They serve as beacons of hope and direction, especially when the path ahead seems unclear. The guiding lights that will lead us towards our dreams. They remind us of our purpose and keep us grounded in our journey, no matter how challenging it may become. Once we have identified our North Stars, the next step is to integrate them into our daily lives. This means setting clear, actionable goals that align with our desires and taking consistent steps towards achieving them. We need to keep them at the forefront of our minds. This can be done through daily affirmations, vision boards, or simply taking a few moments each day to reflect on our goals. We need to remind ourselves of them every day, to stay motivated and focused. Meditation, journaling, and visualization are powerful tools that can help us stay connected to our North Stars. To visualize ourselves achieving them, to see and feel the success as if it has already happened. This not only boosts our confidence but also trains our minds to recognize opportunities that align with our goals, to feel the joy and fulfillment that they will bring. By doing so, we create a positive feedback loop that keeps us inspired and driven, making the journey towards our dreams not just a possibility, but an inevitable reality. Section 5. The obstacle is the way. It's important to understand that the path to success is rarely a straight line. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and challenges along the way. But these challenges are not meant to defeat us. They are meant to make us stronger, to test our resolve, to help us grow. Remember, the obstacle is the way. Each challenge we overcome brings us one step closer to our goals. So embrace the challenges, learn from your mistakes, and never give up on your dreams. Section 6. The power of visualization. One of the most powerful tools we have for achieving our goals is visualization. When we visualize ourselves achieving our dreams, we create a blueprint for success in our minds. This blueprint helps to guide our actions and to attract the resources and opportunities we need to make our dreams a reality. Take some time each day to close your eyes and visualize yourself living your dream life. See yourself achieving your goals, feel the emotions of success, and believe with every fiber of your being that it is possible. Section 7. Small steps, big leaps. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Don't be overwhelmed by the magnitude of your dreams. Break them down into smaller, more manageable goals. Celebrate your victories no matter how small they may seem. Each step forward, no matter how small, builds momentum. This momentum will carry you through the tough times and propel you towards your ultimate destination. Section 8. Embracing the unknown. Stepping outside of our comfort zones can be scary. The unknown is full of uncertainty, and uncertainty breeds fear, but it is in the unknown, in the realm of possibility, that we truly grow and discover our potential. Don't let fear paralyze you. Embrace the unknown, be willing to step outside of your comfort zone, and trust that you have the strength and resilience to navigate whatever challenges come your way. Section 9. Your journey to success. Remember, the journey to success is not about avoiding fear altogether. It's about acknowledging our fears but choosing to focus on our desires instead. It's about harnessing the power of our minds to create the lives we want to live. So I urge you to ask yourself, what are your deepest desires? What is the mountain you are willing to climb? And once you have found your answer, focus your mind on that vision, embrace the journey, and never ever give up. Your success story is waiting to be written.